Forget happiness and be relentless. Michael McLean, noblebook.com, badassletter.com. The toughest advice for the toughest business men. Gorgeous morning here out at the lake, 15,000 steps. Glad you're joining me today as I take you on a mini adventure down to the point and back. Come on, Cliffy. Come on, buddy. I need my walking partner with me this morning. So, forget happiness and focus on being relentless. What the hell does that mean? Well, first of all, happiness is hot. 2022, all the gurus, the Gary V's and onward, that crowd, be happy. Do what makes you happy. Work when you're happy. Everything is focused on happiness. Okay, what's being sold to our teenagers, to our young adults, to you as an entrepreneur and businessman, be happy first and foremost. Happiness is hot. You hear all about it on anti-social media. You hear about it, the best-selling books. Chase happiness. Everything. Happiness is the be-all and end-all. And if you're not happy, then there's something wrong with you. If you're not happy all the time, then there's something that has to be done. And I take exception to that teaching to our young people, to our teenagers, our sons, our daughters, our young adults, our university students, our college students, our athletes, and, businessmen, businesswomen, business owners, and entrepreneurs in general. If you're not happy, there's now something wrong with you. Let me give you a little bit of history, because always follow the money and always follow history, because history always repeats itself. There's almost nothing new on planet Earth. It's just a matter of when it last happened. So happiness, the happiness mental health game really caught fire around 1998. So in 1998, the mental health industry, therapists, psychologists, doctors, gurus, they really transitioned into what's called happiness psychology. So everything started to be about, happiness. You got to be happy. Life is about happiness. Success is about happiness. All this kind of nonsense. So we've had a couple of decades plus of this type of psychology and mental illness, manufactured mental illness, sold to ourselves, to our children, to our teenagers, to our adult children. You need to be happy or else. But here's the thing that's interesting. They did a poll years ago, just a few years ago, 2 years ago. I think it was in 2019, 2020. And they did a Gallup poll, and the results showed that 86.5% of the world's population, what is that? 8 billion people plus? 86.5%, 87% of people were unhappy, miserable, unhappy. So even though we've been talking about happiness since 1998, we live in a world awash in the exact opposite, unhappiness. So clearly what we're thinking, what we're doing, the behaviors that we're taking on, the rituals, the habits, the rules that we use in our lives every day are doing the exact opposite of what we want. 87% of the world's population is admittedly unhappy. And we live now in what I call a culture of hiding. In other words, checking out, medicating, escape. We live in a culture of escape. And if you're not happy, you escape. And every businessman escapes in a different way. I mean, you can escape through alcohol, you can escape through pills and drugs, you can escape through gambling, pornography, you can escape into your cell phone, internet, social media. You can escape for these dopamine highs. This is what all this stuff is. Everybody has their favorite emotion. Everybody has their favorite default emotion. This is why some people, it is happiness. Some people, it's sadness. Some people are addicted to sadness. Some people are addicted to depression. Some people are addicted to anxiety. Some people are addicted to relentlessness. We all have that default emotion. And what's interesting is when we're under pressure or we're not feeling our very best, we automatically default to these different emotions that are our favorites. And that's why we have alcoholics, that's why we have drug addicts, that's why we have championship athletes, that's why we have top 1% fathers and entrepreneurs. Everybody has a favorite default emotion. But happiness has been sold to us since 1998. Manufactured mental illness that told to your children, your grandchildren, in the schools, on television, on social media, if you're not happy all the time, then there's something wrong with you or there's something wrong with your child. Well, I'm here to tell you, as a father, as an entrepreneur, 31 years in the trenches. I have 31 years of entrepreneurial, I call bloody-nosed experience. Expensive experience in the trenches, winning, losing, going broke, making money, losing money, hiring people, firing people, winning awards, losing, you just name it. Failure after failure after failure after failure. Chasing championships. Plus, I have 22 years as a professional and amateur hockey coach. Hell, I owned my own 2 franchises for a while. So not only on ice coaching, but off ice. I was the Jerry Jones and the Jimmy Johnson. So I did both roles. But the point being is, in my life experience, happiness for me as a father and as a husband and as an entrepreneur has always been found in the grind. Happiness for me has always been found in the work, in the challenges, in the grit, in the load. In the load that it takes to give yourself a chance to win. I mean, I consider myself a reasonably happy person. I don't go walk around and say, I'm happy all the time when I'm working, or I'm happy when I'm writing my newsletter, or I'm happy, on Monday mornings or Saturday nights. But I consider myself a happy and grateful person. But that certainly doesn't mean that I'm happy all of the time. And it certainly doesn't mean that I pursue happiness as one of my goals. My goal is to be relentless. My goal is constant and never-ending improvement. My goal is to serve others, because I realized a while ago that if you pursue something, the rule of the jungle is, if you pursue something, what does it do? It runs. If you pursue something and you're needy, then it's repelling. You actually repel what it is you want. So I've said many times in these videos and in my book and in my newsletter, there's only two ways, in my biased opinion, for a person to be happy most of the time, if that's your goal. And that is, one, constant and never-ending improvement. Can I? You need to be constantly grinding. You need to be constantly working. You need to be constantly studying. You need to be constantly reading. You need to be constantly walking, moving your body outside. You need to be getting better. If you need to be committed to being the best version of yourself every day, getting 0.001% better every day. You do that, you get on that mission to become the best entrepreneur, best businessman, best husband, best father that you can be, not anybody else. Run your own race. Run your own race. You were put on this world, you were put on this planet by the good Lord above to be the best version of you, not anybody else. You're not Michael Jordan. You're not here to be Henry Ford. You're not here to be Elon Musk or Tiger Woods. You're here to be the best version of you. Secondly, happiness is linked to how much you give back. Who do you serve in your life? Do you serve, what are your missions in life? Do you serve children's literacy? Do you help people at the food bank? Do you coach little kids? Who do you serve? How do you give back as thanks for all the incredible abundance and blessings in your life? It's 2022. We live in the greatest time in history to ever be alive. If you don't believe that, that's because you have the loser DNA. If you have the winner DNA, you're like, Michael, you're right. This 2022, there's never been more opportunity. Sure, there's issues. There's always been issues. Learn your history. There's always been wars. There's always been, poor leadership. There's always been that stuff. But there's never been opportunities through technology and global technology and the internet. There's never been opportunities for those intelligent 1%ers of us in a group that can use all this stuff to take their life and their business to the next level and help massive amounts of people around the world. And secondly, we are awash in abundance and opportunity. There's money everywhere. There's wealth everywhere. There's opportunity everywhere. A 14-year-old can create his own marketing funnel. And the next thing you know, he's got a second income when he's going to university or college. There's never been more opportunity because of the internet for wealth and abundance. But we're awash in wealth and abundance right now. So really, there's no excuses. Like I said yesterday, there's no shame in ever being down. But in 2022, there's certainly shame, and there should be, in staying down. Greatest time in history to be alive, and the greatest time in history for massive wealth and abundance all around us, if you'll claim it. So this happiness thing, it's interesting because with 87% of the world's population admitting that they're unhappy, as a badass millionaire, you have to look at that and say, okay, very simply, I need to stop following the crowd and I need to start doing the exact opposite. So look around you. You have people that are depressed, you have people that are medicated, you have people that are addicted to drugs and alcohol, they're addicted to social media, they're dopamine fiends, no different than a cocaine or a crack addict. They can't go more than 2 minutes without checking their phone or checking their social media. And this is they're trying to change their state, right? They can't put that phone away. They can't live in the real world. So instead of doing all those things, and what I talk about here every day is doing the exact opposite. Getting your ass out in nature, getting your shoes on, going for walks, moving in the morning, drinking tons of fresh water, reading great books every single day, writing every single day. A lot of the guys they're like, I want to write a book, Michael. I want to write a newsletter. Well, start by writing. Having date nights with your queen and having having scheduled time, family time, whether it's Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, where you do things specifically, just you and your daughter or you and your son. These types of things that bring you joy. And that's the pursuit of happiness. Constant and never-ending improvement. And secondly, who are you going to serve through this? Who does your business serve? Who do you serve in your personal life? Are you part of the Rotary Club? Are you part of Big Brothers? Do you have your own charity? Do you teach t-ball? Do you teach football? Do you volunteer at church? Do you volunteer at the library? How do you serve? So if you're struggling with your level of happiness, look at those two areas of your life hard. Okay, am I becoming the best version of myself every day? Am I committed to self-advancement and improvement? That's reading, that's listening, that's exercising. And secondly, who are you serving? Who are you serving? Who have you been called to serve? And then do that. So very interesting. You're going to be bombarded, and you are bombarded by, if you follow any of these influencers, or it's everywhere, is all this virtue signaling, like be happy, be happy. Life is about being happy. And for me, in my experience, I've been happiest when I'm chasing my next victory, when I'm chasing my next win, as the great late Kobe Bryant said. If I'm not chasing my next championship, then I'm actually unhappy. So it doesn't matter if I'm semi-retired or I'm not retired or whatever it is. I need to be chasing that next win. And, it took me 7 years of pursuit, the grind, the load, the failures, the disappointments, to put a championship ring on my finger and win that elusive Barclay Cup in 2019. But looking back, when we won it and lifted that cup, there was that satisfaction, but it was mostly relief. Like Tim Grover says, when a person wins a Super Bowl, it's mostly relief. When a person wins a World Series, it's mostly relief. When you finally hit $100,000 month, it's mostly relief. The fun and the happiness has been in the pursuit. The fun and the happiness has been in the daily grind. The wins, the losses, the extreme hard work, the load. I love the load on my shoulders. I love the expectations. And I'm not addicted to happiness. Like most people they're addicted to happiness, so they'll do all these negative things in pursuit of happiness. Well, I'm not feeling happy, so I need to drink. Or I'm not feeling happy, so I'll take this pill. I'm not feeling happy, so I'll escape into social media. I'm not happy, so I'll escape into my phone. One of the things besides, I'm addicted to relentlessness instead. When I want to be more happy, I work on myself even harder. When I want to be more happy, I give back even more. I write a book, I write a newsletter, I do a free webinar, I give more. So those are my defaults. My defaults are improve yourself, Michael, and help others while you're doing it. Other people's defaults are addiction, escape. So what are your defaults, and do you need to change them? Do you need to change them? Because for me, the happiness is always in the process, in the pursuit. And then when you win something like a Barclay Cup or a national championship or a 7-figure year, the next question is, so what? What's next? Done next. Done next. That's how kings and cleaners and closers and rainmakers and badass millionaires think and act. What's next? Well, can't you just sit by the pool and enjoy it? That's the whole point. Sitting by the pool is not the enjoyment. Getting back and grabbing that next challenge is. And I might as well be talking to the wall, the 99%, when I explain that. But I always told my players, I always tell my coaching clients, chase that next win. That's where happiness is in the load. Happiness is in the grind. And you know what? Embrace the time you're not happy. Like the great Tim Grover, personal trainer with Jordan, Kobe, Dwayne Wade, He said, when you feel sad or you feel frustrated, or I feel angry, I feel frustrated sometimes, I feel, depressed sometimes, I feel, these different emotions. Embrace them and use them as fuel. Embrace them and use them as fuel. Don't try to push them down. Men do that all the time. We try to push it down. We try to sedate ourselves. We drink too much. We gamble too much. We smoke too much. We escape. Instead of that, just embrace the fact that you're sad, or you're frustrated, or you're angry, or you're disappointed, and then turn around shortly and use those emotions as fuel to smarten up and become better. Take yourself to the woodshed. You know what? I need to be a better husband. I need to be a better father. I need to be a better leader. And use those so-called negative emotions, which they're not. They're humans. We're human beings. So don't be escaping. We're human beings. We are supposed to have both feet in today. That's what human being means. It means that you're supposed to have both feet in today. Okay? Be where your feet are. So if you've had incredible loss, or you've had incredible despair, or you've had incredible anger and frustration, then you need to be where that is until that passes. And that's one of the things that I always remind myself is, this too shall pass. When it comes to emotions like that, this too shall pass. And I have another saying that I write in my journal every day is, it'll be over soon. It'll be over soon. Life is so short, it's a blink of an eye. And that saying to me means enjoy the good, but also enjoy the grind, enjoy the frustrations, embrace the sadness, embrace the frustration, embrace the load of it all. And that's the only way you're ever going to be truly happy, is if you understand the extreme hard work, you understand the extreme discipline. And it all comes back to whether or not you commit to being the best version of yourself, and whether you commit to serving others. If you do those two things in your life, you're going to be an incredibly happy person most of the time. And head the opposite way of everything you're seeing around you. Everything is a magic pill now. Everything is escape culture. And you'll have people saying, what's your problem? You should be happy. Well, I'll tell you, as a high-level championship coach, as an employer of hundreds of people in the past, there was a lot of days that none of those people that worked with me would have said, "Oh, Michael, I'm glad you're happy." I was relentless. So forget happiness and focus on relentlessness. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself. I call it constant and never-ending improvement. And concentrate on who are you put here to serve? Who have you been put on this earth to serve, and serve them? And that's what focus on. And forget this happiness nonsense that's hot as hell right now, but isn't based. It's fantasy sold as reality. And if you do those things, if you focus on being relentless every day, if you focus on your goals and your values, if you focus on living your personal mission, whatever that is, and you focus on giving back and serving others, happiness will take care of itself. That's it for today. Remember the deadline for my brand new newsletter, which is going to print next week. If you want in, you need to go to badassletter.com and get your copy. And before you get all excited about this new newsletter, new product I have, just remember, this newsletter, it's not for everybody. It's not for every businessman or entrepreneur. It's for a special type of person that's dedicated to those two things. They're dedicated to to constant and never-ending improvement, as a husband, as a father, as a marketer, as an entrepreneur. And it's not for everybody. And, it's $96 a month, so it's expensive on purpose. And it might not be the right fit for you. And there's lots of cheaper emails out there. There's lots of emails that are electronic, newsletters that are half that price. So if 96, 7, if $3.23 a day is too much for you, there's cheaper options you can find elsewhere. Maybe guys that sell happiness. So you're not going to get that sold to you in my newsletter. But if you are one of those guys that wants to constantly pursue relentlessness, to constantly pursue the grind, and constantly enjoy and pursue the load, then this newsletter has your name written all over it. So go to badassletter.com and sign up right now. I'll send you one of these nice $60 Badass Be Relentless t-shirts as a gift for acting today, plus a copy of my old book and some other stuff. It's 12-page paper and ink, and I'll FedEx it to your home or your business. And the deadline for that is coming up very shortly. That's it for today. Hey, do what I do before the end of the day. Make sure that you hug your wife and children and tell them how much they mean to you. That's being relentless. That's where happiness is found. Connectivity, when you're home, you're home. When you're having dinner, you're having dinner. When you're watching your kids, you're watching your kids. That type of always present, that's where happiness is found. So be relentless, okay? Constant, never-ending improvement. And make sure you ask yourself every day, who am I here to serve today? You know what? You can serve. You can serve others by holding a door. You can serve others by smiling at a person who's, handing you your morning coffee. You can serve by helping somebody into their vehicle. You can serve by helping somebody, shovel the snow or sweep their sidewalk in front of their storefront. There's so many ways. A kind compliment, complimenting genuinely on something. There's multiple ways you can serve without spending money. In fact, it's even better when you don't. So that's it. Be relentless. Forget happiness and focus on being fucking relentless. 2 words that changed my life. Neither one of them's happiness. 2 words that changed my life. 2 words that can change your life. Be relentless.